Hello class, Mrs. Lacefield here again. Today I'm going to do a review on area. Now we've been working on area for a while, and you've been having questions on area in our spiral reviews each day. And I want to cover some common misconceptions that people have about area, and I want to just do a quick review. Now remember, area is when we have a figure. Usually we're doing either a rectangle or a square in third grade. A couple of times we've been doing different shapes that don't exactly have a name to them. Those are called composite figures. I'm going to cover each of those today. But we're going to take those shapes, and if we were to separate those shapes into little squares, we are seeing how many little squares we can fit in that shape. Okay, and the way that I'm going to practice this with you is using Legos. So my husband's got a huge container of Legos downstairs. They were his Legos growing up. I use a lot of toys from when we were growing up, I guess. And I grabbed out a lot of the little square Legos. And I'm sure if you guys have played Legos before, you've seen these ones. And the reason why I'm using the square ones is to show the square units in there. And if I were to measure this, I could see exactly how big it is, either in inches or in centimeters. I could also measure things in feet or yards or miles if I wanted to. Obviously, this is not miles, right? This is too small to be miles. But if we do not know the exact measurement, like I don't know what the exact measurement of this guy is, then we just call them square units. Okay, so each one of these little Legos are a square unit. Okay. In your spiral review, you've been having um, you've had story problems that you need to answer about area. So for area, it will say something like, I don't know, Janet has a bedroom that is 6 feet by 5 feet. How much carpet does she need, right, to cover that area? Or what is the area of her bedroom? Those are all real world problems. So times when you would actually use area in real life. Okay, so I'm going to show you what you would do to solve that problem with the Legos. I'm going to show you a common misconception, and then I'm going to show you how to do it if you don't have Legos. Okay? So we'll use that story problem. Janet has a bedroom that is 6 feet wide. So I'm going to take 6 Legos. I'm going to put them on here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm sorry that green one. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see there's a little green one right there. So you can see that I have 6 square units across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, in the story problem about Janet's bedroom, this would be 6 square feet because we know what it was, right? It told us that they were in feet. So this would be square feet. So it was 6 feet by 5 feet. Okay. So now I'm going to make it look like an array, right? So I'm going to go down. So this is array 1. So I count as 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 6 feet here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 feet here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. How many square feet or is her bedroom total, or what is the area? So what I would do, this will take me just a second, is I'm just going to take the Legos and I'm going to put the Legos into each column. So remember, columns go up and down, rows go side to side. So right here, I'm filling just in the columns. If I wanted, I could go by rows as well. It's just whatever I want to do to get that all filled in. I've got a lot of reds. So I found something that my husband had built when he was younger. It had a bunch of reds stacked all together. I think it was supposed to be the leg to something. So that was pretty easy to grab those and separate them. That's why I've got so many reds. So you can see I've almost got all of this filled out. Okay, if you guys have Legos, you can do this with me. It's pretty fun to do, actually, finding the area of it. Okay. So right here, we've almost got all of it, and very last one. So you can see that now it's a nice rectangle. So for each of these, I have 5 down, right? 5 down, 5 down, 5 down, 5 down, 5 down, 5 down. I've got 6 across, so 6 all the way across for each row. So you can see that I filled this completely in. Do I have any gaps? No. It's perfect rectangle. So now the question is, what is the area? Well, how do we find out what that is? There's a couple things that we could do. First of all, when I look at these, I could just count how many square units I have, right? That's pretty easy to do if it's drawn out for you or if you can see each individual unit. Okay, sometimes you can't see it, and I'll show you that in a minute. But let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So right here I have 30 square units, or like I said before in the story problem, we know they're feet. So it would be 30 square feet. Okay, remember the square because we're counting how many squares there are in there. Okay, so that's the first thing I could do. I could count if I could see each individual unit, which I could sometimes do. But if I can't see each individual unit, this is what I could do. I could count by fives, because I've got fives here, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, see how I counted each column by fives and I got 30 as well. Or I could count by sixes, right? So let's see, what was the song that we had for sixes? We had We Will Rock You, right? So I could count like that. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, right? So 30. So I could skip count to find that. Or, and this is the most common way, and this is the way that you'll end up solving area problems in the future, we'll use multiplication. So we'll look at how many we have this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Okay, see how many we have this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, and we'd multiply 5. Oopsie. 5s times 6 is 30. Okay, that's the best way to solve area problems because many times, sorry, my phone just got a text. Many times it won't show all the individual square units. Okay, so you can't just count, but multiplication will work 100% of the time as long as you multiply correctly. Okay, so multiplication. I have had some students that have tried, instead of using multiplication, they've tried using addition, right? So they were trying to add to find the area. So I want you to, oops, I just dropped a Lego on the ground. That's okay. I want you to picture how, you know what, we're going to do a different problem. So we're going to do a different area problem. It'll be a little bit, come on. These are giving me problems. Okay, so it'll be a little bit different. All right, I've already got this on here. So this is area as well. Right here, we've already got the rectangle. We don't need to build ourselves, but we're going to count. So what do I have across for each row? Each row I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. Right here I have 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 5 times 3. Now remember, I have my different things I could do. I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? The whole thing. I could skip count. Let's see. What did we do for threes? Threes. Was that one Old Town Road? Right. 3, 6, 9, 12. No, that's not even Old Town Road. But anyway, so we could skip count by threes, by fives, right? Or we could just multiply. So 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, do you see how this is all filled in? 15. Now, if you decide to add instead, I'm going to show you what that looks like, okay? So first of all, let's think about that. What is 5 plus 3? Well, 5 plus 3 is 8, right? So that means I'm going to have 8 squares instead of 15 squares. And I'm going to do that. So 8, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, because we know it's 5 across. We know it's 3 down. So 1, 2, 3. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does this look like a completely filled in rectangle? No. So you can see that this has a completely different answer than the correct one. So we want to make sure that we always multiply. Please do not add when we are doing area. Okay? If you, I'm not even getting into that part. Okay? Just don't add when we're doing area. You need to multiply. All right? So I'm going to do another problem like this. I'm going to draw one on the whiteboard so you can see it. Okay? So let's say that we have a story problem. Okay? So we'll look at it a little bit different. We're going to create one together. And it says, let's see, it says Sammy has a, let's see, what's something that she could have? I'm having a hard time thinking right now. Okay, so she has a driveway, I guess, right? I really like to, in the summer, I like to draw in the driveway with chalk. I think it's fun. Maybe you guys like to do that as well. Okay, but she has a driveway that is 6 feet by 6 feet. Okay, so it's actually a perfect square if we have 6 by 6. So what is the total area of the driveway? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to figure out the sides. So we had 6 feet, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 feet across, 6 feet down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is the information that we have from our story problem. Okay, now I could go in and fill all of this with Legos, which I might do in just a moment to show you. But if I don't want to fill in with Legos, and if I don't see every single individual square, what can I do to solve? Right, I can multiply, right? So I'm going to multiply 6 times 6. Okay, if we need to, we can count with our fingers. We might have it memorized. If you do not know your multiplication tables very well, I would suggest using the online flashcards that I have on Google Classroom to help you practice that a little bit more. Okay, well, let's count by sixes. So we've got 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, right? So 6 times 6 is 36. So my answer after I fill all this in is I would have 36 squares, which means I would have 36 square units or 36 square feet. Okay, so I could fill all of that in, and when it's completely filled up as a square, my answer is 36 square feet. All right, I'm not going to fill that one in because I want to move on. Okay, so what you're going to see, you're going to have a problem, sorry, not a problem, a short assignment on Google Classroom called Area Review Assignment. Okay, it's only got about 3 questions. It's not very long, but this is what you're going to do. You're going to have a problem, and it's going to ask you to find the area. Okay, so right here, it might say 3 feet. In fact, I'm not going to use feet because I've talked about feet the whole time. It does not have to be feet for the measurement. Let's do centimeters. Right? cm stands for centimeters. So we've got 3 centimeters by 4 centimeters. And it will ask you, what is the area? Now, for your assignment, you have to type in the correct answer. None of them are multiple choice. So you have to type in the correct answer. That way, I'll be able to see if you understand it or not. Okay? So we need to multiply. Do not add. Multiply. So 4 times 3. So 4 times 3, right? We've got 3, 6, 9, 12. So 12. So my answer is 12. And the way that I'm going to label it is I'm going to put 12 square centimeters. Do you see how this is abbreviated? cm for centimeters. I'm not expecting you to write out centimeters. Okay, and the reason why is because I haven't taught you guys how to spell centimeters. And when I put the assignment in Google Forms, unless you spell it perfectly, it's going to say it's wrong. Okay, so just abbreviate it. You've got the abbreviation right here. You know exactly how to abbreviate it. Okay, so 12 square centimeters. I will also accept if you put 12 centimeters squared, so if you mix those two up, okay? Because technically, how you would write it is you would write it centimeters squared, but the 2 right here would be floating up in the air a little bit, and that's hard to do on a keyboard. So I'm not asking for you to do it like this. I'm asking you to spell out square, okay? And square is spelled S-Q-U-A-R-E. If you don't know how to spell square, if you don't have that memorized, I would suggest writing this down on a piece of paper right now. So pause the video, write this down so you know how to spell it later with your assignment. Okay? So you're going to have some things that look like this, okay? So no squares in there. You're also going to have some problems where we do have the squares drawn, okay? So if the squares are drawn, let me go like this. And this part's not perfect squares, but just pretend like it is, okay? So if it says this, and it's asking you what the area is, remember, if you have the squares there, can you just count them? Yes, you can. However, this is how you would figure out how to solve with multiplication if the numbers are drawn there. Okay, so we're going to look at how many we have down. We have 1, 2, straight down, right? So over here we'd have 2. And then across we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 straight across, so right here we'd have 4. We're just going to multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. Right? Do we have 8 right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we have 8. So I can double check. I can count if I have the squares right there. So we're going to have 8 and we're going to call it, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I'm stumbling over my words. So 8, we're going to call it 8 square. So S-Q-U-A-R-E. Units. Units is spelled U-N-I-T-S. Okay, sorry, I ran to the end. That S is kind of hard to see. Please make sure that you spell units correctly as well. Okay, so 8 square units. If you need to, pause the video, write down how that's spelled, so you can spell it correctly on your assignment. This is how you will solve it if it just shows the squares. Okay, one last thing before I get you working. You will have one question that has a composite figure, which means it's not a perfect square or rectangle, okay? So you're going to have it, it's going to look like this. Let's say that we've got, oops, I should have drawn in the center before, make it a little more even. Okay. 4 by 4 like this. Okay. And then we're going to have, oh, that wasn't a perfectly straight line. It's okay. This little part added on top. Okay, so this is all together. Now, there's a couple different ways we could do it. What I would suggest is that no matter what, if it has the squares, count the squares after to see that you're correct. Okay? But what I can do, I'm going to do a different color for this. Remember yesterday I told you I've got greens, oranges, and blacks. Hopefully this green works. Okay, so we're going to look at our different shapes. Now you can see that right here I've got a perfect square, right? So I'm going to find the area first of this. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4 across. So it's 4 by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So if I counted this, I'd have 16, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I know that's 16. And then for the top part, I would do the same thing. So right here I have another little square or rectangle. This one just happens to be a square. Doesn't matter if it's a square or rectangle, do the same thing for each. And I'm going to look at the area. So right here, I've got 2 and 2. So 2 down, 2 across. 2 times 2 equals 4. So this one equals 4. That one equals 16. I should have put the equal in 16. Let me switch that so it looks just a little more uniform and you could clearly see my work. Okay, so I've got 4 there. I've got 16 there. And then what do you think I do with these two numbers? Well, since I need to figure out what it is all together, we know in story problems that all together usually means adding. So I'm going to do 16 plus 4, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So my answer is 20 square units. Okay, now remember, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So do I have 20? Yes. All right. So, like I said, you're now going to have an assignment where you're going to have 3 different area questions. It shouldn't take you too long. Please make sure you multiply. If they're the squares, you can count them to double check your work. Okay? But multiplying is the way to go for area. If you have any questions, please comment on this video. I'll see if I can answer your questions. And I think that's it. All right. Oh, quick reminder, please tune in tomorrow because I'm going to show you how to make oobleck. Really fun. If I have kids commenting today, you can tell me what color you want the oobleck to be because I've got some food coloring. So I think it's just the regular colors, red, blue, yellow, and I think I have green for the different food coloring colors. So what color would you like for the oobleck? Let me know, and then I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, see ya.